There is no human being that comes to this world without being called, without being ordained, without being anointed. God has already anointed you. That is what it says in Jeremiah chapter 1. That while you were before you were in your mother's womb, I called you. While you were in your mother's womb, I anointed you as a prophet to nations. So we've been called and anointed to be here. So there is no one that is here without being called for a mission. So you are supposed to fix something. So that person that came up with a solution to the Black Death, penicillin, who came up with the penicillin solution, I don't think an angel appeared to him again and said, "Oh, go and do this and do penicillin." No, I think he just has it in his intuition, in his spirit, that I can fix this. And because we have all been called to fix something, it is in you to fix something. It is in you to correct something. It is in you to mend something. If you not just live for yourself, because when you begin to live for yourself, then you forget about what you are called to do. When you begin to live for yourself, then that blocks your spiritual understanding, and you are not able to walk in the understanding of what you are really called to do. But when you walk with God, or when you are sharp in the spirit, or when you are open-minded and focused, you will definitely discover that you are here to do something special. You will definitely discover your passion. You will discover your gifts. You will know that you can do something. And everything we are called to do is about fixing the earth, about, not allowing the earth to get to a situation whereby, it's going or is falling all apart, whereby the world is uncontrollable and cannot be controlled anymore. That's why we have songs. That's why we have churches that are supposed to be educating people, bringing understanding to everybody so that they will face their calling, their initial calling, why God sent them into the world in the first place. So God stood among sons and telling them, and he was challenging them, and actually, you could say, rebuking them, and says, you are sons. You are supposed to be acting here on the earth like gods. You are supposed to be acting like me. I have made you God over these days. You remember when Pharaoh was chasing the children of Israel from, he was running after them, and he wanted to catch them and capture them and take them back to Egypt. And all of them were crying and everything. So one time when Moses went to God to complain and say, "Oh, they're after us, they're about to get us," God said, I'm sending you to Moses. I know this was actually before they started chasing after them. This was when Pharaoh didn't want them to go. He said, I'm sending you to him. You go to him. And I want you to see yourself. I've made you a God over Pharaoh. I've made you a God over Pharaoh. That's chapter 7 and chapter 8 of Exodus. I've made you a God over Egypt and over Pharaoh. That's the way, small God. That when you are called by God, when you are gifted by God, you are supposed to be looking at yourself as God over the land. We have been made to be gods. I mean, not over people, not over individuals, not over other people, not over human beings, but over the planet, over the nations, over the cities, over the problems, over the crisis. We are supposed to be coming from above, seeing ourselves as God over everything that's happening here. When you are able to see yourself like that, then you are able to take responsibility and you are able to manage whatever is happening. So God was talking to these people and said, you are supposed to be acting like God. You are supposed to be acting like my sons. Then verse 2, he says, how long will you judge unjustly? What God means here by the men judging unjustly is lack of justice. So when you don't act, when you don't carry out your duty, when you don't do the things you're supposed to be doing, that is, God regards that as unjust judgment. So lack of judgment is also wrong judgment, because you are not passing judgment. So God is saying you are supposed to be kings and judges of the earth. As sons of God, you are supposed to be kings, managing, ruling over the affairs of the earth and judging the earth, judging the affairs of the earth. So since you are not doing that, it means you are misjudging. You are judging unjustly, because lack of decision is also a decision. When you don't take decision, that is also, you have decided to take a decision to be silent. You have decided to take a decision not to talk. You have decided to take a decision to be neutral. You have decided to take a decision to back out or to decline or to run away. That is also a decision. So lack of decision is also a decision. That's the kind of thing God was saying here, that you are judging unjustly. How long will you be silent? How long will you be indifferent? How long will you judge unjustly? How long will you promote injustice? Anytime you see injustice and you are not condemning it and you are not reacting to it, you are actually promoting it. Anything you permit, you promote. That's the point God is trying to make here. He said, how long will you judge unjustly? What that is saying is that when you see things going wrong in your country or in your nation or in your society and you are just indifferent or you are just neutral, God is counting that to against you as if you are judging unjustly, because your silence means you are adding to that, contributing to that problem. Maybe you are not agreeing with it in your heart, but you are not stopping it. Since you are not stopping it, you are judging it unjustly. You are permitting it. If you are not stopping it, anything you are not resisting, anything you are tolerating, it means you are admitting, you are submitting to, you are agreeing to. So that's what God is saying here. Anything that is wrong in your society, instead of you complaining, instead of you just talking about it, instead of you just turning a deaf ear, God is saying you are supposed to think about, put on your intellectual cap. Go to the laboratories that you're supposed to go anywhere and think of what you could do to stop it. Just like in those days when there used to be slave trade. Look at this slave trade, William Wilberforce. Someone like him had to stand up and say, I have to do something about it. So people, as cruel as slave trade is, can you imagine if you see the pictures of slave trade, if you see how they treated human beings, black people were put in chains on their neck, their hands, beaten, naked, as awful as those kind of atrocities were, God was just silent. Because it's not his work, it's not his job anymore, it's not his jurisdiction. God has given the earth to be the jurisdiction of man. And so you'll be wondering, how could there be God? Now you can understand why they are atheists. Now you can understand why they are unbelievers and agnostics. Because they are wondering, how could there be God and he's indifferent? And it's not that he's indifferent, it's just that he knows his boundary. He has given the earth to the jurisdiction of man. That's why it's like God is not doing anything. Until a man arises, it is men that allow those injustices to happen. It is men that gave room to it. It is men that are just not passing the judgment, who have the authority to pass the judgment. It is men that are responsible for everything that is going wrong in the world, not God anymore. God has given the earth to our management, to our jurisdiction. That is what we're talking about. So God was telling men and sons who are supposed to be sons of God, who are supposed to be believers in him, who are supposed to be matured in him. And he's saying, when you are not stopping evil in any society, you are part of that evil. When you are not stopping and resisting injustice in any society, you are promoting that injustice. And he says, you are showing partiality to the wicked. Because when you are silent, when the wicked is having a heyday, then you are promoting that wickedness. Then you are being a part of that wickedness. Then you are joining party with that wicked. So that's what he's saying. You are showing partiality to the wicked. You are silent at the destruction of the wicked. When the wicked are oppressing the ordinary people, and you are in that society and you are seeing it, and you are not starting an NGO, you are not starting a movement, a law, a justice committee, you are not doing anything to actively stop it, then it's like you are a part of it. You are a part of the conspiracy. So he's saying, how long will you judge unjustly? When you don't judge, that is unjust judgment. When you are indifferent, that is unjust judgment. Now, can you now understand, if you are from Nigeria, why I couldn't be quiet during the time of the election? I couldn't be quiet because I'm a Nigerian, and why I'm not quiet now, and why I'm going back to Africa right now, and why I'm gathering 2,000 people to go with me, to go and change the country and the continent. The church, until the church arises and until sons arise, God will not be happy, the world will not be happy, and your country will not be fixed. It is we, human beings, and especially children of God, that are supposed to fix every problem in our country. And to be going to church every Friday, and to be going to church all night, to be doing all night vigil, is most of the time a waste of time. It is a waste of time when we are asking God to do for us what God has already told us to do. It is not a waste of time if we are going to pray to imbibe His presence, to imbibe in ourselves His wisdom, to soak ourselves in His grace. Then it's not a waste of time, because that is what prayer is for. Prayer is for us to be able to make the nature of God be more visible in us. That prayer is supposed to make us see Him better, see us better. So if you are going to fortify yourself in prayer, if you are using prayer as a means of fortifying yourself, or a means of getting wisdom and understanding from God, or seeing what God sees and how God would have approached this to get instruction from God, then that is a good part of prayer. But if it is a prayer in the sense that God, go and fix it, you go fix our country, you go fix our world, then it's a waste of time. So some people think I don't believe in prayers when they hear me say these things. But maybe you don't even know what is prayer until you make them. Maybe you've never even prayed like I pray. Maybe only few men of God pray like me. But still, I must teach you to know that not all prayers are, effective prayers. And not all situations demand prayers. Sometimes, you need to know how to pray. And most of the time, the kind of prayer that we need to do is to, fortify ourselves, to keep ourselves, to be able to go out and fix the problem. Not the kind of prayer when we're asking God to fix the problem, especially in those situations and cases when He has asked us to fix the problem ourselves. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now, we need to spread this word, and we need to do it together. For that to happen, we need your help. Just 5 little steps that you could help us to spread the word. Number one thing we need you to do is to like the videos. Please go like this video right now. Number 2, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Number 3, we need you to press and click on that notification bell. You see the bell? Go press on it. And number 4, we need you to go comment. Write your comment, good or bad. Just write what you feel. Number 5, share on every platform. Share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Just share and spread the word. Thank you so much.